So you have to know the right people to get into the right clubs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like prestigious.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah. How long have you been living in Stockholm?
I've been living there since like 2014, I think.
Really?
It isn't that long.
Oh, so you just came?
Yeah.
From where?
From Helsingborg. I'm born in Helsingborg city. It's like a small city placed on the west coast in Sweden.
Oh, so you're
yeah,
Swedish?
I'm born there.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought you were from. Where's your parents from? Sorry.
Both of them are from Lebanon.
Oh, I thought that's where I thought you were born.
Yeah, no, actually not. I was born in Sweden. My mom came to Sweden when she was 22.
Yeah.
She met my dad in Lebanon when they were like 18, I think.
Oh.
So she fell in love. But I was born in Sweden.
Okay, dope. Have you been back to Lebanon since, or?
Yeah. The last time I was there, it was back in 2011, just visiting.
Yeah, how was it?
Not that good. I actually lived there for 2 years when I was younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was sent there.
What do you why?
Like, she comes from a very strict Muslim family, and it wasn't okay for she like didn't go to school. She didn't do that.
Yeah.
She helped out in the home and in the house. She couldn't have guy friends. That's like a normal thing for me.
Yeah.
She had like times where she couldn't go out. Yeah, they were very strict. So no guy friends. She couldn't do whatever she wanted. She had to follow the rules, take care of the house and her siblings.
Yeah. So I'm guessing from what I'm hearing, she passed that on to you, expecting the same thing.
Yes, she did.
And down here, that's not gonna work.
No, it doesn't work in Sweden.
Yeah.
You can't have that mindset over there.
Yeah.
Because it's so like, they're so free.
Yeah.
And I don't have the same picture of the Lebanese people. They're not that free.
Yeah.
They can't do whatever they want to do.
Even
if it's not bad.
To this day, same thing?
It's the same thing where my mother's from, because she's from the south of Lebanon, and they're a little bit more strict than the rest of Lebanon.
Yeah.
But then you like got Beirut and those areas.
Yeah.
They're like more open-minded and more free, and it's like they call it Little Paris.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's cool.
So take me through your high school. How were you as a high school student, with your parents, with teachers, with anything?
I was a very angry teenager. I was very angry. I was always like acting out, and because I felt that no one listened and they didn't understand me. As I said before, I got sent to Lebanon when I was 13 years old. And the ones who was behind it was actually not only my mom. She took that decision with my old principal at the school and the social service. I was like, I always wanted to go out. I wanted to go out with my girlfriends, and they were all sweet, and my mom was a little bit afraid, and she was like, they don't have the same life as we do. I don't want you to grow up in that kind of way. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with them. I couldn't understand. Couldn't have guy friends. She was always like going through my things and through my phone. I felt like I didn't have a private life. I felt like a prison, I think. And her family was so involved.
Really?
From like, the other side of the world. And they were like always calling. They always knew what I did or where I went. So it was a little bit hard.
So oh man, that sounds like a lot of pressure at once, and especially for a teenager as well. Yeah,
it was. It felt like all eyes was on me.
Yeah. Do you have siblings at all, or?
A little sister.
Oh, are you the oldest?
Yeah, I am. We're a little bit different.
How so?
She still considers herself to be a Muslim.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it was easier for her to adapt to that lifestyle because, as I said, we grew up with a single mother and we only had like each other, or they only had each other. I was like, I always said, I grew up outside of the home. My mom didn't raise me, my friends did, because I chose to live that way. I didn't want to be raised by my mom and her family.
And the religion played a big part at the time?
Yeah, it did. I think it was the biggest reason to why. I couldn't understand why I couldn't be free while the other girls in my own age, like, they have fun. They were out, like, doing normal kid stuff, and I couldn't do that. It wasn't okay, because that would, like, give my mom and her family a bad reputation. And I don't know, it didn't feel right to be born in a free country and not be free.
Wow, that's amazing. So, Islam now, right? Moving forward with it, you've rejected the religion now, or?
Yeah, I actually converted to Christianity when I was 15.
Really?
Yeah, as soon as I come back from Lebanon.
Yeah.
I went to the church alone, and I was like, I was waiting for a priest. She wasn't there the first time I went there. I still remember that, so I came back the next day. And there was a female priest, and I just talked to her, and I was like, I don't want to be a Muslim. And she said, okay, and how can I help you? And I was like, you gotta help me to convert. And she said, do you really want this for yourself? Do you want, like, to become a Christian? And I was like, yes, I want that. And she said, okay, the most important question is why? She was, you have to think about it. It can't only be because you want to get away from another religion. And I was like, okay, I was born in Sweden. I grew up with Christian people. I went to church. Our school take us to church on both Christmas and Easter. And my mom, she never had something against that. That is what I found so weird. That she, like,
it's confusing.
Yeah, she let us, like, grow up surrounded by all these free-minded and free-thinking people, and, like, we could go to church without it being a problem for her. But she didn't want that life for us.
Really?
Yeah.
That's confusing. So it's like,
it was.
You can live the free world outside of the home, but when you come inside, it's back to our rules and the way we grew up.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot, especially for a teenager.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about, so you did Christianity at 15 years old. How do you feel about it now? Honestly.
To be honest, I haven't been in church for like 3 years.
Why?
It stopped when I moved to Stockholm from Sweden. I think I got so much going on, or I had so much things going on around me that I couldn't focus on that part.
Yeah. Because you were in school, then you're a nurse too, right?
Yes.
So I'm guessing, correct me if I'm wrong, so much going on kind of distracted you from religion a little bit?
It did, actually.
Yeah?
It did. But I still consider myself to be a Christian.
Yeah. Just so you're not labeled as a Muslim.
I wouldn't put it that way, because I understand them much more today.
Yeah.
I don't agree with everything they do, but I've got more understanding for them today. But no, I don't know. I just got used to being a Christian, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I was so involved with that before I moved up here to Stockholm, or not here, but to Stockholm. So.
Yeah. Nice. So I have a question, and I'm not sure if there's an answer to this.
Okay.
So my question is, for Islam moving forward in countries like UK, Canada, America, those countries what are so multicultural, how do you think Islam can move forward and be a little bit more open-minded to not only outside of the home but inside of the home as well?
I think that not only girls, but both guys and girls in my age, this generation, I think we have to be the ones to change that. And I can take this just for an example. We have so many girls like that live in homes where honor violence is like normal. And this has actually happened to a very close relative of mine. She came home to us and she told us that her mother were like hitting her and she couldn't do anything. She couldn't go out, like had to have coffee with her friends. And I couldn't take that.
Wow.
It wasn't acceptable for me. So I was like, okay, you need to contact the police, you need to contact the social service, I will back you up, we won't like leave you alone in this. And she was like, okay, I will do it. And she did. Then she took the complaint back.
Wow.
And that messes everything up for everybody else. So that's the problem. I think that people are too scared to try to change it, but we have to do it, even if it's like putting our own relatives or family in prison. It sounds harsh, but it has to be done.
So I remember adding you on Instagram, and something stood out about honor killing, and I said, don't say anything to me now. I'm going to come and see you, and we're gonna have our first conversation on camera or whatever. And because I know nothing about it, nothing about it, but there's just something about it, that post, I don't even remember exactly what you said, but it intrigued me to come here today. So I was wondering if we can start to talk about those things, or honor killings and what have you.
Yeah, you mean the post about there's no honor in honor killings?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So where did that come from?
Well, as I mentioned before, I was sent to Lebanon.
Yes.
When I was like 12, 13, and I lived there for 2 years. It was against my will, because in my mind I was going on a vacation. But the decision was made long before that by my mom, my principal and teachers in the Swedish schools, and the Swedish state, because it was the social service that had like the last word or the final say in it. And my aunt was visiting us a summer, and my mom was like, yeah, you should go like visit your grandparents and get to know them a little better. I think it would be good for you. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And she was like, yeah, you will be there for like a month. So I actually went, and I had so much fun the first 2 weeks. Then I started like to notice that something wasn't right, because they like started to talk about, this is your room and how do you want this room to be? And I was like, I'm going back home. And then my uncle got really mad one day because I asked him when I was going back, and he was like, you're not going back. And they like hid my passport.
Really?
Yeah. So they like took it. And I just started to cry, and I called my mom, and she said, it's better for you to like stay there for 6 months or so. Just try out to go to another school. I want to put you in a French school in Lebanon so you can like learn to speak better French. And I was like, okay, I don't have a choice, because I was a child. I can't do anything when I'm already there and I don't have any passport or anyone I can go to can help me. So I was like, okay, I have to deal with this. And the Swedish state sent my mom's family money. They sponsored my education down there.
Really?
Yeah, which is actually really, really messed up.
Yeah.
And the plan was for them to put me in a French school. They didn't. They put me in a Muslim school.
Wow.
Yeah, everything was like based on the Muslim religion. I was forced to wear a hijab in school, and we couldn't take it off until the like bell rang. So I always like waited until like I heard the bell and I just took it off. But it was so hard. I don't know, they were very special, and my mom didn't know about this. She didn't have a clue. She didn't know that her family actually put me in that school. She was thought to believe that I was actually feeling good, and that everything was good, and that I was in this French school. And every time I like wanted to talk to her, because we only had one phone, and the phone was in my uncle's like supermarket or grocery, and he would like sit beside me, and every time I talked to her on the phone, he was like, okay, before I let you talk to her, you can't speak in Swedish. If you speak in Swedish, I will like just hang up, okay?
Really?
Yeah. So she was like clueless for 2 years. She thought that everything was fine, and they like went behind her back and they took me to a doctor to check if I still was a virgin. And I only went with them because they told me that it's good for a girl to like check herself down there so everything is okay. But when I was laying on the table, I knew that that wasn't something normal to do. Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if I'm just like pouring everything out, but it's actually the first time that I can just tell everything.
Yeah, how does that make you feel now?
Mad, I think. And the sad thing about the whole story is I didn't know that there was something called honor culture or honor killing until I was like 19 years old. Then I was like, okay.
So what does it mean exactly? So the word honor culture, so that's the process of it?
Honor culture.
That's what you're going through then?
Yeah, it was.
So you can.
It was. Everything had to do with the honor of the family, of my mom's family. They didn't want to have like a bad reputation, and for them like bring a Swede home, because that's what the people saw me as, a Swede. They didn't see me like an Arab girl. Even at the school, they were like, oh, there's a Swedish girl. So they were like overprotective of me, and they were like, no, she's not a Swedish girl, she's an Arab like us, and she's a good girl, la la. Yeah.
Wow. So I'm guessing like you said, we've talked about the problem. There's a big problem.
Yeah, it is.
And I think one by one, it's educating the people that are our age around, in their 20s, when they can understand, to try to break this system that's from back home, because it's not even like maybe your parents' fault, someone else's parents' fault, because they carry that same tradition down into these countries from they're a kid.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's completely changed. Things have changed.
Yeah, it has.
So I think to better like society with religion, we need to talk to more people about the way things are now.
That's right.
You know?
I agree with you.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
And that's why I say that it has to be us, people like me. We're the only one who can change this, because the old generation won't do it. And the new generation will be exactly like the old one if we in the middle doesn't do anything about it. Like, I never been hit before I went down there. My mom has never ever laid a hand on us. She's like so against violence and raising a child in that way. And they were very strict. So getting hit, it's like a normal thing down in Lebanon. You get hit if you don't behave.
Yeah. By males and females?
I actually got mostly hit by my mom's brothers.
Yeah, wow. And is it like a beating or like just a...
No, it was a real beating. I think I like got beat up I think it was like 3 times. Before the last time my uncle actually tried to touch me, I was like sitting on the sideboard, and I have my like legs out of the window, and I was like, if you just take one more step towards me, I'm gonna jump, and you're gonna get the blame for it.
Wow.
And they never touched me after that. So I like just,
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So what were some of the reasons that you would get beaten?
One time it was because my uncle thought that I had put lipstick on.
Really?
Yeah, but I didn't have any lipstick or anything.
Yeah.
It was like all natural, and he was like mad, and he was like, yeah, you got lipstick, and his wife was like, no,
yeah.
It's her lips, she doesn't have lipstick. And he still beat me up, but I think it has much to do with, I don't know, but I think it's so much anger towards my mom. I don't know why I think it has to do with that, but I think so, because when my mom got divorced, she like stayed in Sweden, and she chose to raise us there, and I think that they could never accept that.
So they use the example.
Yeah.
A bad example.
Yeah, and my mom says that too. She thinks that like they use the situation, they try to punish her by punishing me.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's a lot. That's definitely a lot. So, have you told your mom everything now?
Not everything.
Yeah? Why?
Because I think it would break her heart.
Especially, does she know about the beatings and stuff?
Yeah, those things she knows about.
Is there anything that you want to say that maybe no one knows?
Yeah, like after it was actually my aunt who took me to take this virginity test. And my mom knows about that. And she freaked out when she heard about it. She was like, that's rape. She couldn't take it. She was like, that was rape. And my aunt was, no, and we thought it was best for her to do it. My mom said, you can't do such a thing to my child. And I never told her how I got treated after that test.
Yeah.
Because the funny thing was that I still was a virgin. I was still a virgin when they took the test.
Wow.
But he said that I wasn't. And I wasn't even in the room, because he was like, the doctor was, yeah, you can go out if you want. I just want to talk with your aunt. And I was like, okay. So I went out, and I just started thinking, I was like, this wasn't okay. It felt wrong. And I started like to come to a conclusion. And I was like, okay, I know what I did there. And when she came out, and she was so angry. And she like looked at me, and she was like, yeah, you're a whore. And I was shocked. I was like, why?
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, you're a whore. You're not a virgin. And she went home, and she told like everyone. And we live in a small village. And I just saw and felt how everyone treated me after that. Even family members. And this is the part I've never told anyone or my mom. Like one of them tried to sexually assault me. He couldn't do it because, yeah, I was born in Sweden, so not everyone.
Yeah.
But like we had family members. One of our family members tried to sexually assault me. It didn't work because I was too clever. But
like what happened?
it was like, I won't say exactly who it is because I don't want it to upset anyone. But this person was like much older than me, and I saw him as a father figure. So if he like told me, come and sit here in my lap, it was normal for me. But after that, it wasn't, because he was like touchy and like put his hands too close to my private areas, and I was like, no, this is not okay. So I actually never sat in his lap again after that. But I knew that it had so much to do with the rumor about me not being a virgin. And I actually saw how the attitudes changed. When people like spoke to me, they looked down at me. I was a bad girl. And yeah.
Wow.
I think that messed up like a lot of things for me.
Wow. Would you ever go back?
Never.
Never.
Never. I went back in 2011. It was the first time that I went back after all of that. I think I came back home when I was 15. That's when I converted to Christianity.
Never
So
go back.
no. So it took me like, I think 6 or 7 years before I agreed to go visit again. And I was there for like 1 week. And I was so cocky and sad. My self-confidence had like grown, and I think I just went down to confront them.
Yeah.
And I did.
How?
I like confronted my aunt and my uncle. I asked them why they did what they did, and they were like, "Oh, we're sorry, and this is the way we raise our kids." And I was like, but they didn't tell me that they were sorry. They told my mom. So for me, that's unacceptable. I'm the one who was the victim, not my mom. So I want the apology. But they like blamed each other. It was like a blame game, and he told me to do this and she told me to do that. So that's why I just like moved on, but it still makes me mad because no one like wanted to take the fault. Yeah, they were. And the funny thing with this story is that every time someone from my uncles like put a hand on me, I was like, I hope you only get daughters, that you only get girls, and you don't get boys because you don't deserve them. I wanted them to like have girls to get a better understanding, and they actually did. Every one of them, they only have girls today, and it feels so good. So I was like, yeah, that's karma.
Yeah. And are they gonna have to go through the same things?
The weird thing is I have 3 uncles. All of them were strict, but one of them is very like open towards his girls, and I think that they had to have their like own girls to understand how it is, so especially living in like that part of the world.
Yeah. So do you think you made them kind of change?
No, I think they still have a very long way to go. Because I heard that one of my uncles was very mad when he found out that he was having a girl. He wasn't glad or anything, so that made me so mad when my mom told me. I was so upset when I heard that. But I was happy because after that he got like twin girls again. Yeah.
Oh my God!
And I was like, yes.
Wow. So for the kids back home that don't even know that they're living in such a captivity, maybe the word, or like in such restrictions, how do you think that can break? That's a tough one.
It is, but I think that they like, because they're using social media down there, it's very big today. Okay. Yes. And I even know that where my mom's family comes from, it's a very small village. But even there, they have their own computers today. They have their phones. They go on social media. They got Instagram, and that's the main reason why I'm doing what I'm doing on the social media, because I want to reach out to them down there. And I think they have to see more like Middle Eastern people outside of Lebanon and outside of the whole Middle East to be like, okay,
there's something else out there.
Yeah, we're not living the right way here.
Wow.
So I think that is how we can change things, through social media.
That's amazing. And you're ready for the fight?
Yeah, I actually am. I'm a little bit scared, I have to be honest. I always joke about that. If the day I die, I will probably get killed by someone. But I think it's worth it, because for me, I'd rather be dead than not be free.